So this is my audience. Which one of you guys will hold it? Just try to keep it steady and keep it like this up as much. Hopefully you guys can hear this. Okay, so that right there was two different tracks. The first one was Cudi Get by the famous hip-hop rap artist Kid Cudi. And the second one was Wild by relatively unknown hip-hop producer J Dilla. It's also known as JD. And the first song by Kid Cudi was produced in 2008. And the second one was by J Dilla was released in 2007. So I'm here to tell you guys about J Dilla and about how he isn't a very known artist, but he deserves to be. How he's kind of a great hip-hop producer, but he died before his prime, kind of in the midst of his prime before he was recognized. J Dilla was born James DeWitt Yancey, and and I'll tell you in this speech about his life, his solo music, some of his music he's produced with other artists, the multiple famous artists he's worked with. I'll tell you about his influence on the hip-hop today. It's kind of a lesser known kind of underground hip-hop, not mainstream, but personally I think it's better. If you guys like hip-hop and are kind of into the underground scene, then this is an artist I would highly recommend checking out. But yeah, according to the allmusic.com, which is an online music guide service, J Dilla was born February 7th, 1974, in East Detroit. He grew up listening to like jazz and rap singles, funk and rap singles and jazz albums. He learned to play the cello, keyboard, trumpet, and drums as a child. The drums were his favorite. He really liked the beats, I guess. He'd also tamper with tape recorders, like try and make songs using the play and pause button. And in 1988, he tried his hand at MCing, and even formed his own little kind of rap hip-hop group called Slum Village with his couple friends from Pershing High School. And then in 1992, he got a MPC drum machine, which he created some music that grabbed Q-Tip from a Tribe Called Quest's attention. And after that, he went on to begin making more music. That was kind of his break. He went on to make music with Tribe Called Quest, Busta Rhymes, Mos Def, Common, Far Side, and even Janet Jackson. Actually, he did the track "Got It Till It's Gone," produced that, which he never actually received credit for, but he did do that. And he played music until he died, which, according to LA Weekly, he died in Los Angeles at the age of 32 on February 10th, 2006. He died due to a cardiac arrest, which was brought upon problems because he had a lot of health issues, and it's a rare and incurable disease called thrombotic thrombocytopenic purpura. It's a rare blood disease, and he died before he could really get credit for his music. He influenced a lot of artists. According to NPR, his mother was a opera singer and his father was a jazz bassist, so he grew up with different kinds of music and just music in his household. And that music that he grew up with really heavily influenced the music he created. It's kind of a left field hip hop. NPR called it bare-boned and old school production. The New York Times called it warm. His beats were warm and off kilter. But however you classify his type of music, he impressed many of his peers and other artists to the point where they wanted to incorporate his music into their own. And yeah, he garnered a lot of respect from that, from his own music, from his peers. And I mean, like, to give you an idea of how much respect he had, his name's often thrown out there with the likes of Pete Rock, DJ Premier, and Kanye West, even. According to AllMusic, the famous rapper Pharrell Williams said that Jay Dilla is his favorite producer. He said this on BET's 106 & Park. Q-Tip from A Tribe Called Quest said at a live hip-hop festival in Brooklyn, he compared Kanye West to Jay Dilla, how they both are great producers of today's hip-hop, or how Jay Dilla was, and how Kanye West is, and how they both just love their work. Yeah, and then there's a Houston music journalist named Henry Adosa. He created a top producers for hip hop, the top 50 producers ever, and he put Jay Dilla at 15th. And he was up there with the likes of the famous hip hop artists like RZA, Dr. Dre, Pete Rock, DJ Premier, and Kanye West. And he's in the midst of a lot of big names, but he wasn't as well known. I think that's because of his death. But I mean, in conclusion, he had a unique and likable music style that got him some attention from his peers and made them want to create music with him. I mean, and he eventually made a name for himself with them, where they think he's one of the best compared to some of the best. Yeah, he was raised on music and he made it his life. And it's unfortunate that it's kind of a tragedy. It is a tragedy that he died early before he could really receive the credit that he deserved. Yeah, if you like hip hop, then I mean, even if you just like mainstream hip hop, Jay Dilla is a phenomenal producer that you deserve to check out if you like hip hop. But yeah, if you ever come across a track or an album that is in some way affiliated with Jay Dilla, you know it'll be a very good one. Thank you. I'll take it to show you guys are still here. Thanks, guys.